Everyone, so it is day 17 of Vlogoween, and I'm going to be doing a tag. Now, I thought I had done this tag because it sounded familiar, but I can't find it on my channel, so if I did it before, I guess I'm doing it again. This is the horror movie book tag, and if you're watching, I tag you, because I don't know who's doing tags anymore, honestly. So yeah, if you're watching, I would like to see, your answers to this too. So number one is The Zombie Apocalypse, a book you would save when civilization ends. So this one's kind of hard because I love so many books, um, different genres, books based on characters and plot, and there's just so many reasons I have favorite books, right? Just like so many of us, I'm sure. So it's kind of hard because you might have your favorite book, but us readers, I guess we have kind of stock answers, our go-tos and everything, but the list of favorite books is um, endless, honestly. So my go-to answer would be the first Hunger Games book because I probably read that book more times than any other book. But as much as I do love that first book, The Hunger Games is a series, and I do love the series as a whole. Um, Even the ones I wasn't super crazy for, like the prequels, I still really enjoyed those. Um, so yeah, if I could only bring one book, that one's gonna be kind of hard because like I said, I do enjoy the first book, but then I'd want to read the other ones too. So my second go-to is Zombies versus Unicorns, which is an anthology about zombies and unicorns, or like different stories. There's like a zombie one and then a unicorn one. It's kind of like in a pattern kind of thing. And they have like really unique twist on these two like mythological or supernatural type creatures. And I pretty much like all the stories in there. There's like maybe like one or two I'm not super fond of, but overall, that's probably like my second favorite book besides The Hunger Games. So maybe that one. Number two, The Vampire, a book you would stake through the heart. I don't know if I've read a book that I hated that much. I mean, there's been books that have been annoying and kind of stupid, but I've been lucky enough to not hate a book that much. If I had to sacrifice one, see, I don't know. I didn't even hate Twilight that much. My go-to for annoying books is like All American Girl by Meg Cabot. Um, it said it was supposed to be one thing and it turned out to be something totally different. Like what it said in the synopsis happened, it made it out that that was a bigger part of the story. So it's supposed to be about this girl who saves, I think, the president's son. I don't remember and I don't care too much. And that does happen, but it's like it's more or less about her defending her sister's boyfriend for some reason. I don't know. Yeah, I just wasn't super crazy about that one. I enjoyed her story in Zombies versus Unicorns. She had a cute unicorn story in there. Number three is The Haunted House, a book that still haunts you. Again, this could be so many of them because how are we talking about haunting? Are we talking about something like disturbing. I don't read a whole lot of like disturbing stuff because it's just not my thing. It just lingers on me too much. Like The Lovely Bones and Living Dead Girl. Those were kind of brutal in a lot of ways. I did really like the writing style of The Lovely Bones. That was one of my favorite books. So that's one. I would say the Giver definitely has a lasting impression, as does the Hunger Games. A lot of them. But yeah, maybe I'd say the Giver. That one's not like too disturbing, but it definitely makes you think. Number 4 is the psychological thriller, a book with a twist you did not see coming. Huh. I don't remember the last time I read a book with a twist to it, honestly. Huh. Well, that's a good one. Oh, you know what? Eleanor Oliphant is Completely Fine had a twist to it, or like kind of like more like a reveal. It was kind of more sad, I would say, than anything else. Oh, you know what? A lot of the Goosebumps had it. After a while, they kind of get repeated, but the original series had some really good ones, and some of those were repeated too. But for the original series, he just did it so well, I think. The Girl Who Cried Monster and The Blob That Ate Everything, they pretty much had kind of the same ending and stuff, and both times I don't think when I first read it I would have expected that. Also, the ending to Welcome to Camp Nightmare. I know some people aren't crazy about the twist and everything in that one, but I thought it was really interesting. There's probably a few more. Probably Goosebumps too. But A Shocker on Shock Street. That is it a shock on Shocker Street? No, I think it's a shocker on Shock Street. That one I don't think anybody would have seen coming at all. So those are my answers for that one. Number 5, The Creepy Doll, a book that seems innocent but isn't. Again, I don't read a whole lot of like super disturbing stuff. But once in a while I come across something. So I guess it would depend on what you mean by innocent, right? Because are we talking about something that looks like a cute romance story but has more adult content to it? Or are we talking about something that, I don't know, looks cute but is horror, right? Like a doll, that turns out to be like an evil doll or something. Or is it just something that maybe is a little darker than it lets on? I would go with the last one, and I would say that the Lunar Chronicles are a little darker than they let on. The series kind of reads more fun, I would say, than something like The Giver or Hunger Games when we're talking about like YA. So it's about, the first one is about a cyborg named Cinder. So these are loose sci-fi retellings of fairy tales. And it's the standard Cinderella story. The father is gone, the mother is pretty much abusive, and at least verbally and emotionally. But in this one, her father isn't her biological father. He adopted her from Europe and brought her to the family, and she's kind of blamed for his death and stuff. And spoilers, spoilers, spoilers. And I'm sorry, these books have been out for like over 10 years now, so I'm really sorry. But it is revealed that she is a part of royalty. And honestly, as much as I do like that book, it's kind of obvious, just the way it's written. That's one of the, I guess, things that might have been a flaw with it. It was too obvious, the reveal. But her mom was not a good person. So there is like this moon queen who is like hell-bent on like taking over the earth and everything, and she's just pretty bad. That turns out to be Cinder's aunt, basically. And there's like a prequel to that, like a villain origin story, where it talks about Lavanna, who is the moon queen, and then Cinder's mom. I don't remember her name, but it sounds like Chardonnay, like the fucking wine and stuff. And Chardonnay, basically, I think was older than Lavanna. She was next in line, but she ended up causing Lavanna to like burn herself and everything. Like, this woman was just cruel. And the thing about it is when you do like these fairy tales and stuff, or these, yeah, like fairy tales, it usually is that if there's like a lost princess or something, she's reunited with her family, and the king and queen are like these kind, moral, whatever kind of people. And no, in this story, her mom is cruel. At least to her sister. Her parents are like sleeping around and stuff. Yeah, I thought that part was kind of dark for something that was like YA fantasy / sci-fi retellings of like fairy tales. Let's see. The Monster. A book you could barely tackle defeat. Ooh. I don't know. I listen to a lot of audiobooks and stuff. So when it comes to like longer books, or like I'll split them up between physical and longer. I guess any of these books I'm going to mention, it's not because I didn't like them. It's just because of time, right? Work, life, etc. The Diviners, that was really good. I really like Leva Bray, from at least what I've read from her. And Battle Royale, which often the Hunger Games is compared to, and they're two different stories, kind of the same plot in some ways, but both excellent in their own ways. But they're pretty thick books. The Comedy Horror. A book with mixed genres that worked or didn't. What have I read that has mixed genres? Oh, you know what? Again, Zombies versus Unicorns. That had a mix of like comedy and serious stuff, and it just worked really well. Hmm. I would also say Horror Store by Grady Hendrix. That was the first book I read by him, and now I'm listening to what's it called? The Southern Book Club's Guide to Killing Vampires, or something like that, or Slaying Vampires. It's a long title. I'm actually listening to a graphic audio on that one, and that's actually pretty cool. But yeah, Horror Store is a mix of like horror and fun, in my opinion. The Clinch or sorry, the cliched teen horror. A book you found super cliched, stereotypical. Huh. I don't know. I guess that really depends on what your version of cliche or um, stereotypical is. Uh, Maybe Twilight. You know, I have not finished the series, but I read the first book. You know, obviously there's girl moves to a new town, falls in love with a mysterious boy, has another boy who likes her, so love triangle. So maybe Twilight. Um, the demonic possession, a book so grippy and you need an exorcist to escape it. There's so many books like that. It really just depends on, I guess the author and the message of the book and everything. But again, the Hunger Games, there's just so much to take from that series. A lot about poverty and mental illness, family, prejudice. There's just so much. Same thing with The Giver. There's a lot of things about freedom of choice and everything. The Lovely Bones has a very haunting story. Trying to think of something else. The Shape of Thunder, that has to do with school violent issues, and again family and abandonment and identity and stuff. So there's just so many of them. And then finally, I think we're at 10, the science fiction. A precious book you would permanently sacrifice to the aliens for the good of mankind. Oh, I don't know. A precious book. Huh. That is a good question. I'm going to think about that one for a second. What I think a copy of one of my books, just because it's obviously personal. It's something that I created with my mind, my hands. A lot of effort went into those. So yeah, I think I would give the aliens my book. I think they would like my stories. I truly do. So that is the horror movie book tag. Like I said, you're watching. I tag you. See you guys later. Bye bye.